I'm showing it as 6:30 straight up. I'm going to bring this meeting to order. This is the first and the last meeting in December 15th meeting of the council. If we would start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Georgia, could you come up and help us with the Pledge of Allegiance right there at that microphone? Is that all lined up? So nice and loud, ready towards the flag. Ready?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, and indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Georgia. Yeah, sometimes we have scout troops, and who's ever the youngest in the chambers gets to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I know it won't be me. I'm old. I'm a senior now, for goodness sake. Remember that, you runners. Eventually you'll be a senior in life too. So with that, let's do the roll call. Michaela, as our clerk, go right ahead.
Janetti. Here. Krenz.
Here.
Muraski Brown.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Turnbull.
Here. So we have a full quorum. Outstanding. So some of you are new timers or first time people in here. When you come in to the right, there's an agenda and what's going on. Don't worry about it. I'm your master of ceremony. I will make this easy on you. We will go section by section the whole bit. We have a little bit going on later on. Some of you will be here just for the beginning of the meeting, and then I will let you know it'll be a good time when to leave before we get into business and the whole bit. So with that, again, we are meeting in accordance with the state of Michigan, the governor's ordinance on Open Meetings Act. So everything here is live. We have those that can put different notes to us. They can have public comment here tonight. So we are meeting in accordance with that public act. So no, every meeting theoretically in the state of Michigan should be meeting that way. When it's public comment, that's what it is. It's public comment too. It's not Q&A. So that's, again, accordance to the state of Michigan and the governor. So we'll go from there. So number 3 on that agenda, if you come in and see it, that is the approval of the agenda. Tonight is pretty straightforward. We have a professional services. Some of you young ones won't be here for this. I know you'll be missing out. The Pathway Task Force will be talking about the loan agreement between the city and the DDA, and some motions to look at what we're doing on the performance evaluation and the contract going forward for the city manager. Those are on the agenda. Is there anything to add or delete from the agenda here tonight? Seeing that, I'm looking for a motion to go forward with that agenda. Do we have that motion on the table?
Motion to approve.
So we have a motion. Do I have support for that motion?
Support.
We have support. Any other discussion on it? Great. I think we can do this. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Great. We have an agenda for tonight. So now also we have a consent agenda for those newbies in here. Consent agenda is all those little things, that we don't have to talk in great detail. We have that on there, from the minutes to departmental reports to the hallway furniture disposal at Allen Terrace. That's a biggie, I'm sure. Some credits from Smart and some other things. Is there anything that you want to add or delete or put onto the agenda tonight?
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
had mentioned one item to the clerk related to timestamps in the minutes, but she can take care of that. We
Okay.
don't need to pull it off.
Great, super. So we will do that on small things, scribble notes. We can adjust on our minutes and what have you from pre. So with that, I'm looking for a motion to consider the consent agenda to go forward. Do we have that motion?
So moved.
So we have a motion. Do we have support for that motion?
Support.
Support. Any other discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against, say nay. Good. We have an agenda and a consent agenda. Now we will go to the important things in life. We have a little proclamation for the Northville High School cross country team. Coach Dalton and all your guys, come on up here right now, please. Coach Dalton, if you would be. So this is everybody at home can hear. You got to put this microphone here. Coach Dalton will be here. I'll be here. You guys, why don't you go right behind us, right in front of the diag. And know, if your parents or your grandparents want to see this, this is all on tape too. You can go in tomorrow and see it and record it. You guys are famous in the whole bit, so know that. Boy, very, very good. But let me start that. And no, I ran a dinosaur show there, and now you've gone to the next level. And so I am so pleased.
Do I stand like I'm like this, my taller than you?
I used to follow your coach. He was one of the best runners ever on Northville. So it's great to see generation after generation here. But it seemed like I did this a couple of years ago. We thought it was quite something winning a state championship. But today I have a proclamation that's signed off by the governor of the state of Michigan. I'd like to read that proclamation for everybody here today, for the coach and each and every one of you, and you will all have your own proclamation I will give. So it goes, and they have to hear me, I guess, at home. It goes something like this. Mayoral proclamation from the city of Northville, the Mustang cross country team. Whereas it is my great privilege on behalf of the city council and all Northvillians to honor the Northville High School cross country team, who has now won 4 consecutive state championships in a row, 2022, 2023, 24, and 25, a four-peat. I believe the first time in the state's history at the highest level, in my opinion. And I looked at that, and yes, that's a fact. Whereas this team continues to serve as a shining example of outstanding character, hard work, and dedication, where each student athlete not only represents himself, but also their families, school, and all Northvillians who live in our hamlet in the hills or Switzerland of Wayne County, don't you know? And whereas I congratulate the leadership of Coach Dalton, which was one of the greatest runners ever out of Northville, his staff, the athletic director, Brian Smalski, who is going to be here tonight, and each and every one of the student athletes for being part of this legacy team and championship winning dynasty. You gentlemen don't realize how special this is. I know you do, but 4 in a row, 1 in a row is one of the biggest things you can ever do in life. 4 in a row, you'll be old and gray like me, and you'll look back at these times. It's quite special. And whereas today I speak for each Northvillian as I thank all the coaches, the high school athletic staff, and the parents that are here today. Remember the parents, they're encouraging you, they're feeding you, they're getting you up in the morning for those twofers, you know, in the morning and at night in the summer. And for encouraging and supporting these exceptional student athletes. That'd be you guys, by the way. And now we recognize each of these runners for their pursuit of sports excellence, representing Northville as ambassadors of goodwill. So now, therefore, be it resolved that as the mayor of the city of Northville, I, Brian P. Turnbull, concurrent with the governor of the state of Michigan, do hereby proclaim Saturday, December 20th, 2025 in the city of Northville as Mustang Cross Country Day, given under my hand this 15th day of December, 2025. Congratulations, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Stay right there. I have proclamations for all of you.
There's more.
I know it doesn't seem like much, but in years to come, it's going to be kind of neat. Yeah, I've canvassed. I wouldn't throw this one out. Congratulations. 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 All those medals. How can you guys walk around? Look at that. Holy mackerel. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for representing Northville. Let me grab that hand first. Congratulations. Great job. I usually get to 1 or 2 of your matches. My father was there every year too, right on the hill, as Tim knows. Congratulations. Appreciate what you do.
He was at Happy Track.
Congratulations.
Thank
Thank you for your dedication. Thank you. We didn't even get anything.
You're good.
We got extras. Again, this is your cross-country team for 2025, a 4-peat, 4 in a row. Unbelievably special. Congratulations, gentlemen. Yeah.
$30 seconds. First, Mayor Brian Turnbull, thank you so much. You guys, we're fortunate. We have a mayor in our community that ran at Northville High School that gets running right at a high level. It's not often you get an adult that understands it, but much less the mayor of our community. He ran for Northville. His son Jason was a phenomenal runner at Northville. So there's one. Behind you is Mr. John Carter as well. I think you know that name, very tied into the running community here in Northville. And then Maura Janetti, who fed you boys all year. So.
That way.
To all of you, thank you. I know you have some important stuff to discuss. Thank you for honoring this.
Thank you.
I would stick around for the next presentation, just in the back or right on your seats. And then after that, you might want to do a little homework. Hang on. And John, if you would come down. So John and the whole family, if you would come up here, and anybody that you'd like to be.
Okay, anyone who was involved, and I'm looking at you guys, yep, you over there. Come on up here. This was a group effort. Lori, get up.
So anybody that's part of the Declan Carter Foundation and the support. So let me begin, and then I'm going to tip this over to John and the team here. Declan Carter was extremely special to the city of Northville. He was part of the DNA, I believe, of the city. He even ran on Saturdays with you guys once in a while. He was the next generation, where I'm that old generation. He was the next generation of runners. He was the next generation of people. He was the next mayor after others here. But every day I would drive by on Main Street. I live over by OLV, and I would see Georgia and Declan, they're running down, and he would flag me down, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor. I'd stop. I'd get my marching orders for the day, thing what I had to do down here at City Hall, and we'd stop and get lemonade, wouldn't we, once in a while when you guys are selling lemonade on the side. I considered Declan a friend, and a friend really of the whole community. That event, his celebration of life, was something we all came together at. All the churches, all the businesses, all the people in town. We didn't want to leave that day. We had the soundtrack of his life, all the music up there blasting from the Marquee Theater. We had his famous pictures of his family, his friends, and things. I think about that a great deal. To me, that's what embodies Northville. That was quite a celebration. We're all celebrating. And to me, it's important for all of us to keep those stories of Declan alive in our hearts and our minds. And that's what we're doing today. And I believe there's a little presentation to keep Declan in the forefront of everything we do in the city. So with that, John, it's all yours, sir.
I'll keep this very brief. I should note, since we've got the Northville cross country team here, that they actually did participate, raise money, and supported the 5K back in September as well. So it really highlights it's everyone in this room. So today is a special moment, but it's not about us. It's about everyone in this room. It's about a special boy and a community that really came together to do some amazing things. And so really all we wanted to do is say thank you to all of you from the bottom of our hearts. I don't think you'll ever know how much it meant to us, the way everyone came together and the impact it's had. So that's all. With that, we are handing over. So between Declan's dance, the Declan Carter Victory Run, we are contributing $130,000 to the Ford Field Playground project, which will be coming next spring. So get ready. Thank you.
Here? Yeah.
Mayor, can you shift it so we don't have that screen behind?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody else on the
See, you were right. You didn't work it.
This is- Oh, no, I'm not that. I can't see the camera.
What?
I'm not short, but I always seem short for these pictures.
Oh, no.
It's not a real check. Liz, maybe Wendy can keep that in her office.
Yeah.
Leave that in a place of prominence for a while. Unless you want it for.
So with that, we have one more presentation that I think some will be interested in. It's for Parks and Recreation, and we will talk about the new branding. And tonight, who do we have presenting that? I'm just kidding. Come on down. Last time on everything that's going on in Parks and Recreation. It is an exciting time in the township, in the city, the parks, you know, the different walkways. And in the city and the township, we have 750 acres of park space in the city with another 1,000 out at Mayberry. It's quite something. So with that today, we are going to hear all about the branding and what's going on in town. Enlighten us and put that mic right up to everybody. Move her up. There we go. Greg, introduce yourself so everybody knows you at home too. And
Okay, will do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Greg Morris, Assistant Director, Northville Parks and Recreation. And we are going to take you on a ride tonight through our branding process. Like the mayor's talked about countless times, just a really exciting time in Northville, and Parks and Recreation Department over the last couple of years has really tried to be part of that. So I'm going to show a presentation and go from there.
Continue, help catch up.
Okay, well, cool.
It's not on purpose, so we appreciate
No,
it.
it's a test.
Yeah.
You can take it. All right. Well, anyway, we're going to walk you through the presentation. We're going to talk about the different goals and things that we considered throughout. Throughout this process, we got feedback from both the city and the township because we are a shared service, and it's important to remember that. So if you've seen some of our older stuff, the logo we originally had was from 1992. It was hand drawn by Tracy Sincock, our former director way back.
It's golden
It
oldie.
was her friend that drew that logo, and it was the tree, and it stood tall for a long time, but it was definitely time to refresh our brand. So our superintendents, our director, and myself came together. We hired a company called Destination by Design. There's actually a company out of Boone, North Carolina. They really embodied what we were looking for, and they have been amazing to work with. Not only do we have branding to share with you tonight, we actually have a sneak preview of some concepts of our park signage as well.
I saw that.
Which actually
Really liked it.
Great.
Township board has not seen yet. So this is a city first.
We like to be first.
Which
Thank you.
I thought you might like that. So we have that towards the end of the presentation. Again, only concept drawings for those at home. Concepts are not final. So please remember that as you go to email me. But yes, concepts on our park signage that we are hopeful to work through not only the township parks, but the city parks as well as we move forward. So how are we doing on that?
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, I'm pretty good at stalling, but.
And
So tell us a little bit more about what we're going to see.
Okay, so basically we're going to take you through the process. We're going to talk about the goals that we considered, the different our core pillars, kind of not only nationally, but internally as well, as we really look to connect with the community, create memories for all those that are involved in our programs, and inspire those that are part of it. I'm actually going to start, and then you can just catch up with me. How's that?
That'd be great.
Okay.
And I'm going to have one question. Have we also lost connection for persons watching at home, or is that independent?
No, that's.
Okay, usually my phone blows up when that
I was
happens.
gonna, so that's,
Still, but we do have the stream still going out.
Yeah, I'm showing we're on
Just
at
to
home
confirm,
and
so-
we're on up here, so we have internet service. So, okay,
right,
you
well,
go, they will
thank you.
catch
I
up
just
to you.
wanted
We've
to-
got the
No, I appreciate
presentation.
that.
It's like a test, like
We
the
want
Mexico
the
Mission
folks at
tour.
home to be able to hear it as well. So
Yeah.
we appreciate
Great.
that. All right. Well, we had 4 goals. The first goal was really to unite the city and the township. We are technically, as department, we are employees of the township, but again, we are city, we are township, and the main goal of the branding was to unite our city and township together. The second goal was to kind of usher in an era of parks and recreation. Really, since about 2004, it had kind of been like this, a little stagnant. And it was definitely time to reinvent the wheel and really push the exciting things that we offer. And we wanted to establish consistency, visibility, and trust across all the different things that we do. So you've seen us in the public, you've seen us at different things. That was a conscious effort to do that. There it is. Beautiful.
Look at that.
Look at that.
If you talk long enough.
Yeah.
And just for your information, at one time, Parks and Rec reported to the city. You know, the township has gotten a little bit bigger. It's logical. They report to the township. It's an 85-15 split on everything we do. We pay 15% of the legacy, the costs at Legacy Park. When we do all these parkway activities in town and Ford Field, they pay 85, we pay 15%. So every park
Yep.
is a split on keeping it up to speed. But they at one time used to report to us, but yeah, it makes sense. They report to there. But I'm the co-chair, the vice chair with Parks and Recreation, and Barbara Roski Brown. See, I'm stalling a little bit, so you're ready for it.
Good. We're back up.
And Barbara is on that committee too. Okay, go.
All right. So we talked about our goals, so we can actually move on to the next slide. So during the process, we had to determine what we were. And the biggest thing for us, that what we came up with and what we wanted to be, was best in class, trusted, and crafted. And that crafted word is important because our team is constantly crafting, whether it's new programs, new innovative ways to take care of our parks. So that word really is one of our bigger ones, but best in class, trusted, and crafted. Next slide. So basically who we are, and that provides that overall context of our brand platform. So the biggest thing that we always point out to people when they ask about us is what are we providing? And we're providing that improvement in quality of life. There's just the stress of day to day is so much now. And when we saw it during COVID, where did everybody go? They went to the parks. And that's when it really became prevalent that what we're doing is really important. We're never going to replace fire or police. However, it's still important to get outside and get in our park system. And right now in Northville especially, there's a lot of parks coming. Yes. Next slide. Also weird that I don't click. I'm used to clicking. Nationally, there are 3 brand pillars that we follow: health, wellness, and social equity, environmental conservation, and economic prosperity and impact. A lot of people don't think of Parks and Rec necessarily as driving economics, but the products and services that we offer bring people into Northville, bring people to the businesses. And so it's important that we have those pillars in the back of our mind when we are considering, or when we were considering, the new brand. All right, next slide. So here they are, the guiding principles. And if you've heard Director Smith and myself speak at anything, we had a competition for a while. How many times could we put in create, connect, inspire? But everything we do is based off of those 3 things. And it seems simple, but it really gives our staff that guiding force on what they need to do when they're creating things. They need to create quality programs that create memories. They need to connect with the public, and they need to inspire other people to either create their own programs or do more things with the community. And that's what we're looking for. Slide. The messaging was really important. We wanted to expand our messaging and really get out in the public and have that unified message across the board that what we're offering is really important to those folks in Northville. And we felt like the branding process and putting a new brand out there would definitely get that message across. Next slide. And really, we look at ourselves as that group that's hopefully transforming Northville's future. You look at Central Park, you look at River Park, you look at Legacy Park. I mean, we are adding about 350 acres of parkland in a 1.5-year span. It's a Park and Rec's professional dream to have all those, like one park out of that would be a dream, let alone 3. So it's important that that messaging, we keep on brand for that. We have a high quality group of individuals that are professionals in our organization, from our building attendants all the way through our superintendents and programming staff. We've added a lot of staff because we found that we weren't adequately meeting the needs of the community. And so it was important to include them in our branding. And obviously Central Park and River Park coming online. And we want to we're transforming Northville's future with our Parks and Rec department. And that's not lost on us. Slide. So we had a lot of additional talking points, whether it's you're out in the parks, whether you're taking your son, your daughter, your grandkids. Those are just different messages. They're in your packet. You can kind of look through those. But it's important to get our team speaking the same language. And really the highlight for us is when we're out in the community and we're using these different themes and we're hearing other people start to use them. Because then we know what we're saying is really getting across. And so that's been an important part of what we've been doing. Next slide. These are some additional story themes, whether it's parks, events, activities, sports programs, our senior center or the community center. That place has just transformed in the last 2 years. I cannot give that team enough credit on what Debbie and her team have done down there. Has really been something. I remember when I first started September 23 here and I walked in, it was just kind of gloomy a little bit. And it's just really become this place where everybody treats it as their house. They get coffee, they're around the fire. And that's important for us to.
Now the municipalities are coming to see how you do it now.
Yes, Plymouth came and visited us. So
where is that? Is that south of?
Yeah, it's
Plymouth.
not really that
Okay.
But anyway, so these different themes, as well as park usage, community building, and also taking care of the environment. I mean, that's what we're all about. And these themes were important to focus on during the branding process. Next. You'll notice this picture. So these next couple of slides are going to be kind of how the logos and things came together. You might recognize that. That is from our skate park, but you can kind of see how the N is kind of flowing in and how you can do some things with it. Next slide. And what this does is you see that big N on the left, and it's made that way on purpose. It's kind of a flowing kind of, because our tagline is community within a park. When you think about it, with the tree canopy that we have, all the houses are kind of built into that. And that's kind of, it's supposed to be this winding walkway taking you through the community. It may just look like an end of song, but it actually has a story. It's a really cool story that Destination by Design came with. And also, if you look to the right, you'll see how flexible it is. I mean, there's so many different ways that we can incorporate that N into different things and different logos. And it's just really been fun to play with from our perspective. And I think as we continue to unleash the brand, I'll say that more people are going to really get on board with it. So next slide. And this is just another example, some patterns. You can see the N pattern top left. You can put that on a polo shirt, all that kind of stuff. It works for backgrounds of presentations and things like that too. So again, bringing everybody together, connecting everybody together. That's the whole point. Next slide. Now with brand comes colors, and the colors are really important. Some people don't like the orange. Orange is really in your face. So sometimes we go navy, sometimes we go white. They complement each other. And that's what's beautiful about the brand, is that these colors work together to provide that unified message to folks. So if they're not quite a biggest fan of the orange, we can go navy and tone it down a little bit, but it's still consistent and still shows that it's Northville Parks and Rec. Next slide. These are just going to be some examples of how we can apply it. We've actually already applied it to one of our vehicles, or a couple of our vehicles. On the right there, you can kind of see what that looks like, but it has some merchandise opportunities down the road as well. Swag that we gave out on front of you tonight. You have a sticker you can put on your water bottle next to "You Survived the Magical Mystery Tour" stickers. So yes, those ends. Oh, he's got it right up there. Beautiful. Next slide. Just some more examples. And you're getting a preview on the left there of some possible park signage and things like that down the road. Next slide. We're going to do these really fast. So next one.
Mhm.
You jump back.
Next one.
Oh, I see.
Went by
Yeah.
that quickly.
Yeah.
Next one. And okay, before we go to this one, so the next one after this is gonna be what the township board has not seen yet. So this is kind of a preview of that.
Give it
So if
to
we
us,
go
baby.
next slide. So now what you're about to see, this might come up smaller, but the concept signs for our parks. Now there's gonna be a family of signage, so this is not like the only sign that will be out there. We can go next slide. Oh man, they're getting cut off. Trust me, it's really cool. But anyway, just above it, you can kind of see the Legacy Park, but it's illuminated.
And you can't bring that down, right? No.
Really cool.
Okay, that's
Kind of
fine.
looks-
Go right ahead. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks
Okay.
great on the
No problem.
PDF.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Good.
So
So,
anyway, if you want to see those in full, I can definitely share those with you later. But
Great.
again, there, it's all about the branding, what's gonna be the colors. And working with the township and the city and the DDA wayfinding as well, and making sure that it all kind of fits together on what's gonna be those roadside signs. And when you come into town, whether it's the city or the township, it's gonna be that unified front and those signs, because while a sign may not seem as important, right now the signs that we have are really outdated and they don't match the quality of the park behind them. And so our goal is to really up our game with the signs. Now, I know what you're thinking in the back of your head. How much does this cost? I don't know the answer to that yet.
it takes bread, baby.
Yeah, it takes bread. And it's gonna take time. We're not gonna be able to replace all these signs all in one day because they are kind of expensive. And as far as those exact numbers, we'll have those for you later. So next slide. So this is half. It's getting kind of cut off again, but these are gonna be more of kind of inside the park, or maybe some smaller signs, not necessarily the larger signs. It might be like a secondary entrance kind of signage. So again, but that the stone and still taking into account the classic part of the city of Northville.
And even smaller signs inside, directional signs and where to go to.
Yep, directional signs as well. So next slide.
There you go.
And then that's more of like a kind of a kiosk area for information.
Right.
And then at the top, which you cannot see, but even in the roof, the ends are kind of intergrained inside that. So it really points to, again, back to the end, back to Northville Parks and Rec. Next slide. And then there's some of the wayfinding, again, helping folks find their way around so they know where they're going. Because if you've been out to Legacy Park, very easy. You can actually get pretty lost out there. It's 350 acres of trail and 16 miles of trails. So it's going to be important that we have that signage. Same thing for River, same thing for Central. Like, it's going to be new parks for folks. They're going to need to know where to go. Next slide. And then these are some drawings is showing folks in the parks. And again, where they're going to see where to go and the next steps and things like that. So again, cut off, but in your slides, you can definitely check those out. And obviously, as we get pricing and all that fun stuff, we will bring that back to you. So next. And then that's the entire family together. And you can kind of see, especially at the bottom, to kind of give you an idea like how tall they are. You can see the shadows to give you an idea of how tall they would be. So some of them are they're not meant to be like overwhelming, but you're definitely going to know where you are. And that's the point of a system. So next slide. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. Next slide.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
That was a thank you slide.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thank you slide. Perfect. Okay, good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So real quick,
It shows up
open up the
perfectly,
question.
it shows up perfectly in the
Yeah.
package. just,
We
you
can
know.
see it in the package. They
Yeah,
can
we
see
can
it
follow it.
online.
Yeah.
So you want to look at them in great detail, just go online. You can see them and you can blow them up.
But Destination by Design has been amazing. They've come here multiple times to really get the feel of the community. And so it's really been a pleasure working with them, and we look forward to working with them for years to come. So I'll open it up to any questions you may have.
So let me first start by thanking you, Director Greg Morris and Executive Director Derek Smith. They are doing so much work. They are staying with our pace around here between the township and the city, which is quite tremendous. And they are going forward with that. And because of all their work, we were notified Friday, we're going to get the M Parks Award for parks for the city of Northville from the governor in February, because everything they're doing and the parks in the city of Northville and the connection. So we thank you tremendously.
I have to interrupt you though.
Yes,
It's actually your award.
it's on behalf of the whole city, what we're doing. No.
Well, it is. It's a to honor our mayors.
It will be the city award, and we will all go up there with the governor, and we got a call on Friday afternoon. It is great, and it's because of the work. You know, I'm just up here hanging out once in a while. All the work is done by everybody else, but we will go up there and get that. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But thank you from the bottom of our heart. I said early on when you first came, and Derek, you got to run pretty hard around here. You got to run fast like all those cross-country runners we just saw. And you've maintained the pace. And we are going to levels that we never even thought we would get to. And the parks are even better than we thought in the connection.
Could not do that without the support of both the city and the township. So appreciate that.
So thank you so much. That's from my standpoint.
All right.
Others up here, any comments or questions?
You guys have done a great job kind of uniting the township and the city without making it, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's been a nice
Transition.
group.
Thank
You have a great staff.
Yeah,
I
the
love
team we
working
have
with
has
them.
really done an amazing.
It
job.
is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would just highlight 2022, we were at 300 acres. Now we're over 700. And the fact that we're not only taking on that challenge, but enhancing it and the experience that comes with it is phenomenal. So really good job and keep up the great work. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And
Other?
yeah, well, thank you for sharing the sign. I know, because the last Parks and Recs Commission, because you've gone through a whole strategic planning process. I mean, having those first 9 or 10, the amount of work that went into that was tremendous. So on the branding, you know, and selecting the vendor and all of that would work you through that. It's just great to see it all come together in this one packet. There was a lot done before this.
For sure.
And I remember the conversations at Parks and Recreation Commission related to the colors. You got some feedback from everyone. And I believe that Parks and Recreation is the oldest shared service, other than maybe a mutual aid for police and fire for the city. I mean, it goes really far back. So we've always been together.
Right.
I mean, even though you're employees of the township, it's really because some municipal body needs to handle everything for HR and all kinds of things, but it is really one. And I think the city on a higher level is grateful somebody else is doing it now after all the years the city did it. But but thank you so much. And I look forward to hearing more about the signs, but this and the diversity of how this logo, I'm going to call it a logo, it's branding, but the logo can be used for these different applications, yet not lose that brand.
Right.
So very pleased and thank you for all, and you and your team for all the hard work
Appreciate that.
behind this.
I'll just add, Greg, every time you guys come in here, it's great. And I hope the community realizes how lucky we are to have the team that's in place there. One note that was made was how many additional acres we have. I think we as a body need to find a way to sustain those and maintain those and not erode the quality of experience that people have there over time. So we just absorbed and doubled all this room, but now we got to make sure it's up to the standard that the community expects, and that's on us. So we'll do our part.
All right.
And we're trying to set the standards for the future. It's an 85-15 split today. It's just on population. All the other municipalities, whether it's Plymouth, I know where it is, Plymouth Township and Canton, they all have separate ones. We work together. Because of that, we can do even more together as a group. And now we're able to go to that next level and double the amount of acreage. And together, we know we're going to have to add another person or two. We're 15% of that. Even though Legacy Park, they're doing, we're paying 15% of all that maintenance. We want to. Parks and Rec will be part of what we're doing at the Commons area where the farmers market is. And we're excited about the partnership. You can see, you know, the optic, the township and the city working together. We are in every level from lockup and dispatch to Parks and Recreation to buying the Commons area together. It's one community. So it's quite something. You know, we have a great relationship And we're going to continue that. And you're pushing us to new standards. So
Thank you. Thank you all.
My only ask is those maps too good, because some of us like to get lost on those trails and spend a day out there. So.
And you made
Taking away my excuse.
So didn't you make the trails so good and so wild that we had to tame them down because they had a lot of broken bones out there at Legacy Park? Is that correct? Okay, let's let it go.
Challenging areas.
Okay. Oh, that's a good
We
PR
made
answer.
them better.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you all
So
very
with
much.
that, is there any comments from those in the audience here today? Come right up, Nancy Darga. Full name and address. Oh, Parks and Recreation expert.
516 North Center Street. As you know, I'm the current chair of the Rivertrail 20 years when I was on the city council. And I can't tell you how heartwarming this is to see that we've moved past soccer fields. We're actually looking at the whole scope of it. There is one thing that I do want to point out is I was almost jumped out of my chair when I saw that one of the pillars was conservation. I can't tell you all the master plans I worked on that I had literally threatens people's lives to get preservation, conservation in the master plan. I also noticed it in the theme, which was very rewarding too. What I didn't notice is in those three pillars, which were create, connect, and inspire. And I really think that you might want 4 pillars, not 3 pillars, and one is preserve. Because one of the reasons we went from 300 acres to 700 acres is, if we like it or not, we are the stewards of the headwaters of the Rouge watershed. And we have play a special role in the state of Michigan, being the steward of this watershed, which is one of the reasons why we garnered more park space, why Legacy didn't become a mini mall. Because it had 100-year-old forest stand in it, and why Fish Hatchery is a special place. I do have a little concern about a Cracker Barrel effect on that logo. I think it's really cool. I love the sign, but if that one, the end of the end, could have like a tree canopy on top of it to make it a little more warm and parkish, that would make me very happy, but I like it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Anybody else in council chambers? Comments? Going once, going twice? I'm closing off comments here. Anybody online, why don't you say again how they raise their hand and go online?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank
Anyone
you.
that's watching online, if you'd like to make public comment, we ask that you call into the public comment phone line. You can find the instructions for that on at the top of the agenda. Just call the toll-free number. And once you're entered into the meeting, we will ask you to raise your virtual hand by pressing *9. And currently, Mr. Mayor, I don't see anyone on the caller line.
Great. So going once, going twice. I don't see, you can't see all of them online, but he sees them when they pop up. I don't see any hands popped up. Do you confirm that online?
That's correct.
Great. So I'm closing off public comment on this. So now, if you're following your agenda, we will go to public comment. We have 4 things on the agenda. If you're here to talk about that, I will open up for 2 minutes on each one of those things. If you have something other than the professional services, the 9 Mile Pathway Task Force, the loan agreement between the DDA and the city, and the performance appraisal and the way forward with our city manager. Those are the 4 things that are on the agenda. I will open it up on all 4 of those. If there's something other than those, if you want to speak about it, this would be your time. You have 2 minutes to talk about anything you want. Anybody in council chambers? Going once, going twice. Okay, I'm closing it off on council chambers. Anybody, they just heard you say how to raise their hand online. They're just enjoying life tonight, getting ready for the holidays. I can see that.
You do have about a couple dozen viewers, it looks like, but no one has called in at this time.
Yep. Okay, great. Going once, going twice. I am closing off public comment online. Great. So thank you very much, Greg. It was very informative. The logo, again, we're coming together. That Northville and Northville together between the township and city. We are one community, and we know that, and township is better and the city is better for us working together on all things. So thank you for doing that. You're conduit for it. So with that, as we go on, the next section is Public hearings, we have none tonight. Super. Unfinished business, as I love to say, we finished our business last time. So we're going to go right on to new business. The first one is 9A, professional services. And I believe, Wendy, are you doing that up there? So Wendy Longpre from our offices will talk about professional services agreement from OHM and what to exceed and the whole bit. It's all yours, Wendy. Thank you. And will you catch up to her? You got it? That's the next one. Okay, good.
It's
But
back up.
you got to back
Couple of
up.
slides.
That's the next presentation.
There you go.
There you go.
Awesome. Thank you. You had a memorandum in your packet outlining the request this evening. Staff is requesting authorization to enter a consultant services contract with OHM for engineering for the Ford Field East Trail extension. You recall at your last meeting, you had a conversation about a TAP grant that we received from SEMCOG. And this professional service agreement is the steps that begin to implement that project and prepare us for implementing the TAP grant as well as submitting for a natural resources trust fund grant. So if you go to the next slide, please. Just to remind everybody, we have two sides of Ford Field East and West. We're currently doing a lot of work in Ford Field East. We're designing a restroom, we're constructing a playground, we're constructing a handicap accessible entrance. So there's a lot happening there. And sort of the next phase of improvements in these parks is to look at Ford Field West. You can go to the next slide.
And it's
Did I get those
actually
backwards?
opposite, isn't it? Yes.
It is. I got
So
those
east is the
backwards.
new, west is the old. It's okay. We can use our imagination. I
Okay,
got it.
yep. Flip the east and west there.
Yep.
Good golly. This is a graphic that you saw at your last meeting. It describes a little bit of what the SEMCOG TAP grant is, and you can see the current sort of schematic of where we're looking at that trail going. What this consultant services agreement does is, in order to implement the TAP grant and to move forward with the Natural Resources Trust Fund grant, we have to begin some engineering type of activities. We have to get all of our permitting and approvals through the federal and state government before we can negotiate for an easement. We will need an easement from an adjacent property owners to follow this particular trail route. So it's a little bit of a chicken and egg kind of thing, because we can't do the contract or the easement negotiations until we get the permit approvals. But if the easement negotiations fall through, then we have to do the permit approvals over again. So it's a little bit strange, but that's the order that TAP requires it to go in. So this particular contract is the first couple of steps associated with that. That is to do the NEPA, National Environmental Policy Act, the State Historic Preservation permit applications, and the EGLE permits for the remediation and development, and also through the joint permit. So we'll have to kind of work through all of those, and that's what this contract will allow us to do. Once we work through all of that, we'll come back in front of you for an additional funds to continue with the design and bidding of the project.
Right.
If you go to the next slide. I do want to be clear with everybody of one particular thing here. We're looking at an overall project cost for this project of $1.986 million. That's broken down in terms of, you can see construction up there. You can see the preliminary engineering at about 18% of the construction costs. And then TAP also requires continual construction oversight. You can't just have someone out there at key times. You have to have an engineer on site the whole time. So that adds an expense as well. And then we sort of have a placeholder for any easement purchases. So the way we're looking at revenue for that is through the TAP grant, the Natural Resources Trust Fund grant, and then there will be a local match unless we can find another funding source. So I do want to be clear with you all that as we look at developing this project, there is going to be a commitment that we'll need to address through our existing funds.
Great. So is that on that one? If you were here last meeting, that check we just got for $1.2 million to start this project in the back window from SEMCOG, we're looking for another $400,000 or $500,000 grant from FFE, I believe. We try not to start something until we have the funds. We haven't raised taxes for all these different things you've seen. We've been very fortunate from this group, the council, going national, state, county, and even public partnerships, public-private partnerships. So we've been very fortunate. We're, as I say in life, my wife is very open to give $2 away for every dollar we make, but I'm a little bit more conservative, and we are as a group for when we fund these projects. And we have funded them internally with a little bit from what we need to put in. We will always leverage 5% to get 95% out there. And we will look at every way we can do that for the betterment of the city and township. We couldn't quite make it work at the farmers market area. So we brought a partner in together with the township and the city. We were able to do that, which connects to this. This is one of the 5 sections. And if we play this right, this could even be done by the last day of next year at this time. That's a push, I know. But
Indeed.
so
That's not gonna.
Wendy really likes it.
The timeline for the Natural Resources Trust Fund grant, just so everybody knows. We will be doing some public input meetings because we haven't talked a lot about the specific route of this. So we'll be doing that and preparing a grant application. The grants are due April 1st. And so we will be back in front of you for public hearing as well as authorization to move forward with that grant submittal on April 1st. And then we know by the end of next year whether we receive the Natural Resources Trust Fund grant. So timing on these is a little bit off, but we can make it work. So
Questions for council?
So I saw we talked through right away acquisition and the NEPA Section 106 review. So the public engagement, will that be a series of meetings? What is the format for the public engagement element?
We haven't defined that as yet. I've thought, I like to begin those discussions with talking with the River Restoration Task Force, and they're a key group in our community, and then kind of go from there. Sometimes we'll combine a public meeting with a River Restoration Task Force meeting, but it depends on what. So there'll be at least discussion with the River Restoration Task Force, and then the neighbors immediately adjacent along there have asked for an opportunity to look at this and discuss it. So I imagine there'll be a meeting that's a little bit more neighborhood focused around that. So.
And then what was the match requirement? I know you said there is a match, but what's the percentage there?
For the TAP grant, the match is 20%, but TAP doesn't cover engineering costs. So with the Natural Resources Trust Fund, the match grant, the match amount is 25%. But we're going to use the grants to match each other. So really what essentially happens is that the city's funds go towards funding engineering is generally the cleanest way to address that. And then we use the grants to match each other.
We double dip on it. Great.
Oh,
No, I know. Okay, don't say that. Not outside this room. Good. Good. Mute it. No, mute it. Any other comments and
Just a
questions?
couple from Mayor over here. So on the timing front, so it sounds like later next year. How does that work towards our plan to have segments in place by the bicentennial? How do you feel about that? Not that that's the driver.
I feel pretty good.
It's a want to have.
You're gonna put me on the spot
I'm
here.
putting you on the spot.
Yes, the most likely and realistic scenario is constructing this in the summer of 2027.
Okay,
The
that's what
summer
I
or
figured
fall
based on that.
2027. That's the most likely scenario. So we will know by the end of 2026 whether we have the Natural Resources Trust Fund grant or not. If we are unsuccessful with that grant and you choose to move forward with the project anyway, then it could speed up. But
That was
in
my
order to
next
get-
question on.
Yeah, in order to
100%
get
we don't
those
pay
to work together. Yeah.
All right, and then on the great side, I mean, 5 years ago, the council that was sitting here just did not have the multiplier effects that people like you have brought forward. So everybody take a look at the local match at 415,000 out of 2 million. That's a 500% multiplier effect on the work that you're doing. That's how this work gets done. We used to not be able to get this, but with the team that's in place, getting that done, we're very fortunate to have you here, Wendy, to make that happen. That is not by accident. That's a lot of work that she's done there. On the meeting schedule, I think I saw there was, let's see, one for council, the one for river restoration, and might have been a public event. Might I suggest, I'm not advocating here, but maybe something to think about is maybe it's a planning commission as well, because they're going to be going into master plan development right at the time when these public sessions would occur, that it might be great to pull in the macroscopic view of what's going on around there as well with our very capable planning commissioners. They probably also have a lot to contribute. And I'm not saying replace any of the other stakeholders, but I think it'd be outstanding if you can pull these things, start thinking about pulling them in front of planning next year, because they're going to be opening the books real soon on a master plan update. And actually, Greg, that goes for you too, is all of that documentation on the future of the parks. As we put that stuff, those new parks into the city, I want to pull that into the master plan development as well with them, so that everything aligns with where they're going to. I know you're thinking about it, but that's it. Other than that, great as always.
Yeah, Wendy, thank you. Good luck with those grants and keep the neighbors happy.
Keep the neighbors happy, please.
We're going to do our best, definitely.
Yeah, and just
Harbor.
great comments from my fellow council members, so I'll drill it down to things that haven't been discussed or just touch on it in a little different way. I know this is expensive, and there was work before this that cost us money, which is part of investing to get that multiplier effect, having a Forward Field East master plan, and investing in, well, both Wendy, sunk cost, but also, enlisting OHM in helping put together grants, right? The very technical, these are very,
OHM,
very technical.
helped put together, they primarily did the TAP grant. We
Yeah.
gave support.
So
Yeah.
with this, these are not to exceed dollars like what we're approving tonight. And
Yes.
even the way, which it's nice to see that as standard language now, by the way, thank you, versus some fixed contract. It could be less, but with this particular site, there's a lot of unknowns. Nancy, we've pulled together, and the Riverwalk Task Force, quite a bit of information on Forward Field East. And that was a former Superfund site that's been remediated. And so it's pretty limited what we can do, but this is perfect because we're not, putting any sort of buildings in the same sense or anything. And so it is really wonderful for use, but it means that some of the things that we're authorizing here, even with those, just the tasks that we're having, the technical part of it, it is there's a lot of work to do with this. And I suspect, I wouldn't say when you scratch the surface, I think it may not exceed it, but be up to it. But it's this is a very, very expensive project and a very sensitive site. The easements, we don't need to get anything to do with the railroad here, right?
No.
We avoided that.
Because we wanted a one bridge system.
Well, no,
but
that's
we just
right.
couldn't get it done.
So that's why part of this, our bridge will be expensive, because if you look at the drawings, there's a long bridge.
Yep, it's a two.
If for us to get a shorter bridge, which would have cut cost and the land's there, we would have, is it CSX Railroad? Which railroad is it? Is
I'm
it
not
CSX?
sure which one.
What a railroad,
So-
we would have had to have some sort of easement from them, which is very difficult.
It is.
Yeah.
And so some of this costs a little higher than we might like or might have liked because of that. But the easements are related to the owners of the water wheel, correct? And that, and all the land around it. So hopefully, even though it needs to be done, getting that right of way, from a private landowner, at least it's a different hurdle than dealing with the railroad, which is why this design
And we
is
have
in
a
place.
friendly partner with the Rick Cox, so he's been out there trying to look where
Oh.
we're doing, but we have to work with them, which is great. He has ideas, we have ideas.
Well, I was
You'll come
saying,
together with that.
I was saying that in a soft way, because I don't want that owner to be committed to anything.
Yep.
But I am grateful,
Right.
that he's been just done so many great things
Been
in our community.
outstanding.
But let's just leave it at that for, but thank you. So anyway, so it's, expensive, but I don't see a way to make it cheaper. I don't even think in this case, I don't even think if we bid it out, it would get cheaper.
No,
So
you've looked at the
this
numbers.
isn't one of those. I mean, OHM already has experience in this particular area, and I don't see a way to.
It's so fussy making all of the different components work together. And you really need a team who has experience in a lot of different areas. So OHM has some pretty deep staff when it comes to that. So.
And there is a subset of people within Riverwalk that has quite a bit of knowledge on that area. So hopefully, you mentioned you're going to lean into that group, and glad Nancy's here to hear all this.
Yep.
Maybe we'll even hear from her
Absolutely.
if we're lucky.
Anybody else from council comments? Anybody from the audience here in the council chambers on this? Nancy, I would expect you to talk in detail, in the parking lot with, and I mean that metaphorically, with Wendy on this. I know, yes, you do indeed. So let's get it done. And in her office afterwards, and we get a lot of work done. This is just the surface of, the whole pyramid of all the work that goes into these meetings and where we're going with these. Good. So I'm closing off for public comment here. Is there anybody online with the hand raised at this moment?
Not at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, so I'm closing it off online for that. So with that, you're looking for a motion to go forward, are you not?
Yes.
And there's a motion in the package, a sample motion.
Yes.
So,
I'll take this
okay,
one.
go right ahead.
I move to approve a professional services agreement with OHM Associates in an amount not to exceed $105,200 to conduct right-of-way acquisition, NEPA Section 106 review, and public engagement assistance for a Rivertrail extension through Ford Field East, and authorize the Director of Strategic Planning to sign that.
So we have a motion. I'm looking for support of that motion. Do we have?
Support.
Support. Any other discussion on this? Seeing none, I think we can do this. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. You have a motion.
Thank
Move
you.
forward.
Indeed.
Stay right there. I think you have part two. So that next one comes up. This is the 9-mile corridor of the pathways. Educate us on that.
Yes, this is really a fun one, and I'm happy to be talking to City Council about this. Staff has been working with a task force, and I probably should broaden that some. This began in terms of the discussions with this task force with the River Restoration Task Force. They have been working with colleagues in Oakland County to look at connecting the Northville Rivertrail into Oakland County, and to the 9-mile trail to the north, and then to the south to the 7-mile trail extension. And the Oakland County, it's through their Parks and Recreation Department. They have been conducting feasibility studies and long-range plans on how to construct a non-motorized pathway all along 9-mile road. If you can go to the next slide. The particular section we're looking at, and I apologize, this isn't very clear, but we're involved in the task force that is looking at the pathway along 9-mile from I-275 west to Dixon Road. And all along there, there is a number of different ways that you can connect from 9 Mile to a couple of different trails. If you could skip the next slide and then go to the last one. Oh, okay, thank you.
Red team player.
And yeah, if you could skip the next slide and then go to the following one. Next one. Okay, so hopefully this is a little bit easier to see. Oh, look at our pointer here. Okay, so Northville is right here, and the trail that we're looking through sort of cuts through Northville from north to south here. If we can make this connection up to the 9 Mile pathway, as they implement this pathway over time, people will be able to get to the I-275 trail, which goes north and south. You'll be able to get to the ITC Parkway, and then also be able to get to the Huron Valley Trail. That's heading north. Heading south, residents from Northville will be able to get onto the 7 Mile pathway and then also get to I-275.
That will be constructed next spring and be done by end of summer, all the way down 7 Mile from 275 through Legacy Park to where our market is today.
Yep. And then you can also connect down to the Hines Park pathway. Then another key feature, as this 9 Mile task force, we are participating in the task force that is just west of I-275. There's a task force also that's looking at a trail east of I-275, and that would go all the way down to Van Dyke Avenue, which then connects to the Iron Bell Trail. The Iron Bell Trail can go all the way north to Mackinac Island. And so when you start to look at this pathway system in the broader context, it's just really, it's amazing that, you know, what we are looking at developing here throughout Northville is going to be able to connect our communities to the north and south to these incredible pathway systems. So it is important to continue to push forward with these pathways and to work with our partners to the north and to south to make sure we're coordinating projects. So that's what this memorandum of understanding does. It basically says we realize the importance of trails. We believe they have an importance, not just locally, but regionally, and we are going to work to coordinate our projects with projects happening to the north of us as well. So it doesn't commit the city to any funds. It doesn't commit the city to any plans or any schedule. The funding for all of these pathways has come through Oakland County through a couple of different grants that they've received. So we've really, if you look through this plan, we've gotten a good product really for an investment from some River Restoration Task Force members and a little bit of staff investment.
Is that it?
That's it.
So just to add to that, Oakland County we're very unique. We're all very unique, but we're in Oakland County and Wayne County. Oakland County has been working on it for quite some time to get down to 275 on 9 Mile and go to the Iron Belt area. They would like to continue all the way down. And that is right into what we're doing in the pathway systems connecting north all the way to Mackinac City, unless they do a tunnel underneath there instead of the island, but Mackinac City and all the way to Ohio on the other side. So from that, they're very excited in Oakland County, and they're funding this to get down to 275, and they're doing the rest of it, and that gets to all of the pathways in the city of Northville. So we're that bridge, and Nancy has been working on between when we do the first 5 sections, that could be done by the end of next year on our Riverwalk activities. Then we're going to go to Rotary Park on what is that? That's 9 Mile and Meadowbrook. Novi is all in on that, the city of Novi. And once we do that, then that connects to this. So they are looking and they've come over here to see how they can connect with that. So a lot of activities and a lot of thanks to Nancy. She always pushes me. She wants it by the middle of next year. I was thinking the end of next year. But between Nancy and her whole team, we're doing these things and we're connecting to them. And Oakland County's been working for 8 years on the section down to 275. They're going to get there. Now they're working to the next area, and it's right at the same timing that we're getting. So thank you. A lot of work, and Wendy's involved with meetings and Nancy and others, but it's exciting. This next generation, they'll be able to go all around. And like I say, on 7 Mile, we will have the pathway sometime by next summer, all the way from 275 down. You could do that circle from 9 Mile to 7 Mile and up our 5 different sections and back to 275 corridor. That is quite a walkway in itself. So it's exciting. All these things they've talked about for generations, we're doing because you're all doing it out there. So it's great. Okay.
Okay.
In the commercial.
Go back, up one slide. I'll just give you a real brief update of where we're at. When the mayor talks about, I think you talked, Mayor, about 7 different sections. When I actually look at our trail, the Rivertrail plan, I divide it sort of into 11 sections.
Right.
This section right here, and this is really difficult to read. I'm going to pull up my.
Yep, the 11 is Fish Hatchery Park.
Yep, the
section.
11
So
goes
if you
to
go from there,
Fish Hatchery
and one
Park.
is the Rotary Park over in
And then
Novi.
10 is this pathway is being put in as part of the Downs development.
Yep.
This is the River Trail pathway. Section 8 here is the pathway as it goes to the DTE property.
And they're spending $2.5 million on their little corner there.
And then you have Foundry Flask.
Yep.
Then you have Ford Field East. Then you move up into what I've labeled here as the Mill Pond pathway.
Right.
So these are the sections up here where we haven't yet looked real closely at how we're going to get through there. But that's the Mill Pond, Parameter Cider Mill, 8 Mile Crossing, and then the Rotary Park connection up through here.
Exciting.
Yeah. So if you look at all of these, we're really going to have a good chunk of those done here over, the next few years. And then we can start looking at how we get north and do that final tie-in on the south.
Even from 11 at Fish Hatchery Park, so a discussion, we have utility rights next to the Johnson Creek to go all the way out to Beck Road someday if we're still alive. And we're going to be doing a pathway between 6 and 7 on the Back to the Future, which is $87 million supposedly going to be happen. But in the township and Parks and Recreation, there'll be a pathway between 6 and 7 that will then go into Mayberry State Park, where there's a new entry area on Beck and 7. That is part of this whole deal. Once we get that, that's another pathway to get to, different sections that go all the way north to Mackinac City. So we're excited on that. And again, all these things are happening at the same time. The one for in the township down 7 Mile, that's happening. That's happening next spring. They have on their budgets and the planning in the township to go from 6 to 7. So as we get going, we don't wait for one. They're all kind of coming together at the same time. And Parks and Rec is pushing us to do it. Yes.
And the exciting part is, just 11 alone opens the doors to Edenderry.
Yes.
And all of the residents there, as well as the school on the other side. Each one of these adds another neighborhood, another section of the community to be able to engage.
And the township
You know what you're doing, Wendy?
yeah, doing a great job. Outstanding.
And I believe I believe that last section, I can't see the number, the one that the Edenderry, so you're going west from Fish Hatchery Park. I believe the township has already set aside funds for that pathway.
They have.
But it's a little complicated. I believe it's on the south side.
Right.
It's a bit complicated for right of ways and such,
Yes.
but that's already slated if they can figure out how to do it, and that'll be a wonderful connection. The other is because we're assigning you basically for this, which thank you very much. Nancy, you'll be working with her. She's developed a really good relationship with the Novi, I think they call it now the Novi Mobility Committee. I've attended a couple of those meetings, very productive meetings. In fact, we were able to nudge a section between Galway and Allen Drive on Novi Road to get sidewalk there because there was none. There is an area that still has a gap. We have a complete north-south sidewalk, pedestrian area, or cycling on the east side of Novi Road, but not on the west side. And so it's part of that crossing and all of that, because many people in that area of the city, and even in Novi, if you're in that Galway subdivision area, it's very difficult and dangerous for them to cross Novi Road. So it's that connection, and believe that committee, which does work closely with this 9 Mile Road, because even though it's Oakland County,
Yeah.
which is who we had to talk to also with the road, Oakland County Road Commission got us that segment of sidewalk. They're very involved, and that committee is made up of, as I recall, it is planning commissioners, parks and recs commissioners, and a couple city council members. And then it's very well attended, at least the couple I was at, by city directors.
Staff.
So having that connection is really helpful for having these things happen. And if we could just get that crossing for 8 Mile
Yeah.
for the park system. But I think this is great that we're going to be joining this team, as a representative. And I see good things happening. And those connections that you had on that prior slide are very important. Again, little pieces. Sometimes there's little pieces that are a big struggle. Other times it's just a easy conversation. But it's sitting at the table is what's most important for those conversations.
Exciting, a lot of opportunities. Sure. Others from up here?
Job win.
Good.
Just a couple things. I think Novi is going to be a great partner for this. I know their mayor is very enthusiastic and wants to do this. He will do what he needs to do to make this happen on his part. There was also in one of the slides in this deck that said that 86% of people surveyed that live in that 9 Mile corridor are very excited about this. So we know how enthusiastic we are in our town, but they are also. So it gives me great hope that this will carry through with, the team in Novi, and how much those the residents want to probably get down and through our downtown too. They probably see us as one of the jewels that they want to get to as well. 9 Mile is a great choice for this. Ride my bikes all over these roads. It connects with all the major trails. ITC is an absolute gem. And the beautiful thing about 9 Miles, it's lower speed limits, 2 lanes, no 275 intersection. I think it's absolutely the right choice for them and for us to go and connect to. It's outstanding that we're going to talk to them so that, when we build our 2 areas that they meet, that we can do that. And then I think that's it. So great work. I'm all for it. And I think we're going to have great partners to the north of us.
Aren't you glad you're pushing us on this? Thank you so much. Good. Anybody in the audience have any comments? Nancy, please, right up there.
Thanks.
You bet.
Can we just get her like a lapel mic?
Project. Nancy Darga, 516 North Center Street. Yes, the River Task Force did originally contact Novi in terms of connecting Rotary Park all the way down to the Downs project, looking at Griswold as a possible connector. So I have a request. Anything is possible if we can get all the players in a room and get everybody to agree to the final vision of what we're doing. We have an obstacle that it's immense. It's called 8 Mile Road. And we have 3 communities working on 8 Mile and the Novi intersection, and we could not get them to listen to us in terms of crossing 8 Mile with modifying the lane striping on 8 Mile where Novi comes in, and that bridge. They wouldn't even put an extension, what we call like a hanging extension, so that, and I don't know if you see it, but people jog down that road, people ride their bike down 8 Mile over that bridge, trying to get to Myers and stuff, and they got uniforms on, so I know they're going to work. So here's my request. We have to get the players in the room, and we have to apply diplomatic pressure. We have to get Wayne County to agree to put the lane striping on 8 Mile on a diet when you come over that bridge. It's only been 2 lanes for 4 years now. It can live at being 2 lanes, and we can pick up the outer lanes as bike lanes. The other thing is, and I'm not beating up Wayne County Road Commission, because Oakland County Road Commission was more uppity than Wayne County Road Commission. And I want to thank Barbara, because she almost wrestled them down into the drainage ditch to get them to agree to the sidewalk that we got them to agree with. But my request is that we need Mike Dominey on board. We need the road commissions on board. We need Wayne County on board. We already have the Oakland County Commissioners on board. We have the Walkability Committee on board, and we have the Mobility Committee on board. But the people who control the roads we don't have on board, I'm asking you to apply diplomatic pressure and get everybody on the same table. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Nancy. See
Here,
what we
here,
can do.
Nancy.
Anybody else in council chambers? Going once, going twice? Closed council chambers. Anybody online with a hand up at this moment?
Not this time, Mr. Mayor.
Great. So we have that. You are looking for a motion, just, aren't you, for us to go forward and for
I'll take
our,
this one.
not a financial motion, but just our commitment for it. So who would like to go?
I move to approve a memorandum of understanding to participate in the Oakland County 9 Mile Pathway Task Force and authorize the city manager to sign. Furthermore, we authorize the city manager to designate a city staff person to serve on the task force.
Great.
She's sitting in the front row.
Right. So
That doesn't have to be part of the motion.
we have a motion. It is not, don't put the last on that. Okay, we have a motion properly supported. Any other discussion on this motion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. We have a motion. Go forward. So the next one is the loan agreement between the city and the DDA. We've talked about this in subcommittees. We've talked about it at the DDA meetings. Now we are going to have Kate Knight give us a little bit of background to the Reader's Digest version. We're going to vote on that tonight. And we have a meeting tomorrow, don't you, for DDA too?
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
Thank you.
great.
Thank you for the introduction there, Mayor. I think that summarizes it.
Yep.
We were here about 6 weeks ago to talk about some of the capital projects we're working on in partnership with the city. When the DDA prioritizes capital projects, we know we can do more when we're prepared to maximize our DDA budget. So we have a line item in our budget annually for debt service, and that's reserved to pay toward larger bonded projects. It's how we can afford to do more. And we've been spending that this year immediately on improvements at Town Square. So we've been watching that happen. We've been talking about that. And this is an extension and kind of consolidation of a more comprehensive approach for which we are asking the city to partner. And that's through the form of a loan for $1 million, which will allow us to move forward more efficiently with this next construction cycle.
Great. This is logical. Instead of going out to a bond, they borrow from us so they can get right to it and start working. Because they have shovel-ready things going on, they got a grant from SEMCOG for, whatever, $800,000 last Friday. We feel bad we're taking some monies, but they were ready to do it. Other municipalities weren't. That's for the Katy corridor. It's outstanding. We are doing a lot of things, whether it's Parks and Recreation, whether it's DDA, whether it's township or the city. We're ready to do it. We want to do more things, but we need some funding. You have some
Yeah,
input
just
on
a
that.
quick input of support for this. So obviously, when Kate got here, we had been talking for some time before this about refreshing Main Street, the plaza area, the fountain, the area around the clock tower has all been a little bit showing its age and showing its wear. We went for the RAP grant. We didn't prevail in that. So this was a chance for Kate to come in and reset and show a lot of great infrastructure improvements. And we looked at that and said, hey, we can support this and let it happen more quickly and more efficiently, again, in terms of cost, by having the city loan from the general fund. So that's the recommendation. Sandy and I have looked at this pretty closely and feel that this is the best use of the money. Instead of having it sit and not be put to use, it allows the DDA to get these projects done more quickly and save some interest and issuance costs from instead of doing bonds,
Right.
and be able to get that money to work, improving the downtown. So we're excited to partner with the DDA and think this is a great move.
Sandy, are you excited? Excellent. Outstanding. Excellent. Others, questions for Kate?
I mean, not a ton of questions here from I'll start with the partnerships make us stronger. So we've talked today, we had the schools here, obviously one of our most important, farmers market, Parks and Rec presented earlier. There's a theme forming this evening of we can do more when we work together and we combine our assets and resources and we think strategically as one. From that standpoint, I serve on the Economic Development Committee, so we've been having rounds of reviews related to this. We need to invest in our downtown. It is one of our greatest assets, and we need to be strategic as we think about connectivity between Maine and Katy and the future of downtown as we have the new development coming in along Katy. So fully support this from a financial standpoint. All this allows us to do is invest in our town together and not take on more debt, but fund it through mechanisms within our own community. And we should be always seeking opportunities to do that. So appreciate the partnership, and Sandy, appreciate you making sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted on this one, but it's a good thing for Northville.
Look at it. She's happy back there. She's very happy.
I'll chime in on that. I agree 100%. And the DDA is a part of why our downtown is great. The DDA, and of course, and very helpful with everything that happened with the River Park. Without their changing and looking at that creative boundary, that couldn't have happened without DDA's participation. So thank you. Based on discussion at the DDA Executive Board last week, is that the information you have here in terms of all the costs, some are going to be a little bit higher, some are going to be a little bit lower. And so please keep us informed over time on that, how that all works out. And then also in funding sources, because we are having, there is a recommendation that, and I think we'd like to see Main Street with the mill and fill, which still costs money. And then can there be some city resources partner with that? So I'm fully supportive of this. And many of the things on this list have been on the strategic plan for getting it done, what year, for a long time on the DDA, getting it done. And then also that Katy corridor connection that's going to link our historic downtown with the East Katy Street and really bringing that together. That's all. There's a lot in here. So thank you very much for all the work you've done to get it to this point. And I know you have a lot that you'll be doing in the next year. So thank you, Kate.
Keep pushing. Others?
Fully support it. You share your funds with us. It's only fair.
Yeah. That's true.
No, I'll just add, it's been years and years of councils that we're looking to get the financial stability back in place, that we have the fund balances in place, that we can loan in an intergovernmental loan internally at good rates, avoid the bond issuance fees, avoid all those things that our residents see no value from, to get you going quick at a rate that is great for you and it's good for us. And I just think that what you're seeing now is years and years of financial stewardship starting to pay off. Just to build on what was said by my fellow council members, the relationships we've built between the council, the DDA, the communications, DPW, you can start to see that it's all compounding in a good way. So I'm excited.
Super.
Well done, Kate.
Thank you.
Anybody in council chambers have any comments on this? Please come right up. Step back for a second, if you would be so kind, Kate.
Hi, James Mastronardi, 991 McDonald Drive. Just want to say thank you to Kate and the DDA for putting this together. Not only just obviously the funding makes sense because we're paying ourselves back, which as a resident, obviously I don't want to take any more burden and it just makes sense. But also kind of related, just wanted to tag on, I was here for the previous presentation and just the amazing amount of work that is going into revitalizing the downtown. Everything that is downtown makes us downtown. And what I will say is I really appreciate the presentation from last time because it really, at the last time I was here when the streets are closed after that presentation, I really took a different approach. When you see the downtown, it's almost like our city's living room. You see people there sitting on things, whether they're supposed to or not, climbing on things. bathing and things or whatnot. You know, I was like, it's really that everything that you said, it just, I was chuckling when you said it, but the next time I came downtown, I was like, it is the living room of Northville. And right now it needs a little TLC, and I'm happy to see that we're going to take care of it. It's where people gather. It's where people talk. And, you know, when things are in nice condition, of course, we can much better enjoy the clock and the areas when the streets are closed, and we have the social district to really get a better look. But anyways, just wanted to just say my appreciation and thank you to everybody involved. And that was it.
Thank you, James.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Anybody else in council chambers on this? Going once, going twice? Closing off comment for council chambers. Anybody online at this point?
Not at this time, Mr. Mayor.
With hands up, okay. So you are looking for a motion for us to go forward with that. You have a motion in your package, so take a look to see who would like to bring that motion. I think John is ready.
I move the city council approve the resolution as presented to authorize the DDA borrowing $1 million from the city of Northville to pay for the 2026 downtown capital improvements project.
Okay, so we have a motion. I'm looking for support to that motion.
Support.
Okay, we have support from Councilperson Janetti. And any other discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. You have a motion. Let them know tomorrow morning. Thank you very much for all your work, Kate. We appreciate it tremendously. So now let's go to D and E are kind of locked together. This is the consideration of adopting the city manager's performance evaluation. We had a meeting, a closed door meeting for quite some time last session. We went through all those parameters, and I'm going to push this over in our way forward plan to both John and to Councilperson Krenz, because you're in charge of the personnel. So between you two, who's up?
I'll take care of it. So I'll just introduce and maybe provide some headlines and the full documents in the packet if everyone wants to see. Is that sufficient, Mayor?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay, great.
Thank you.
So John and I serve as the Personnel Committee for the city. One of the main functions of that is the annual review of the city manager and then establishing goals for the following year. We will not talk about anything that needs to be done in 2026 yet. That'll come at the beginning of the year. And of course, those will be made public when they get there. So John and I, the last couple of years, have met with the city manager in November. So it's essentially November to November. No, it's all right.
Sorry.
It's her world.
No.
So it's a November to November review essentially, but it's also used for the end of year assessment, like the mayor said. We reviewed as a council in closed session, but that document is in the public sphere. So you can see that in the packet. I think that there was no significant changes that council recommended. So what you saw is what you get. Just a couple of highlights for that. In totality, we thought George fully met and exceeded expectations in a couple areas. In 2026 goals will be handled, like I said, then. There are going to be some things that we are really going to be focused on that need to occur next year that maybe weren't so much this year, but that's okay. That's part of setting goals. So this year, the city became one of 17 municipalities in the state to receive a top AAA bond rating. And you saw some of the output of that just moments ago in terms of the things and the flexibility and the compounding good that comes out of that. Especially with our general fund increasing to 36% from 30%, which is outstanding. Our OPEB, which is the non-pension part of our retiree benefits, is fully funded. With any luck, the pension itself will be funded at the maximum or the minimum, which is needed for no contributions at 120%. I believe we're at about 116, depending on your actuary tables and everything you're looking at. So we've been, as a community, overfunding the pension for years and years and years to get to the point where we can get that behind us. And when we do, that is a 7-figure benefit to this community on an annual basis. And that might happen next year into perpetuity. And I want to thank George for making that happen. This year, we also completed a massive neighborhood investment program with water that you saw there and got that bonded out. I personally will be one of the last communities that no longer has lead pipes going to my house, so I'm super excited about that. We also saw that with, I would literally say minutes to spare, the permanent home of the farmers market was set in place and paved. Is it a done deal? Absolutely, it's not a done deal, and we will be asking that we are going to have periodic reports from the Farmers Market Consortium next year, so we can stay updated on that. We would like to have a review of what we learned and what we saw and feedback from vendors and everybody from this year. It seemed to be an extraordinary success. Everything I saw and everybody I talked to was absolutely excited about that. And George was a major factor in that. On the staff side, all 4 major contracts were negotiated in a satisfactory way so as to maintain long-term physical stability, because the greatest gift that this council can provide to future councils is going to be fiscal stewardship more than anything else. Give them flexibility to do what they need to do in the future. So thank you for that, George. We completed the build out of staff. The team here from where we were 5 years ago, it's extraordinary. We've replaced many of the consultant contracts and brought core people in. We do have several young people that we're building the skill sets. So we'll be counting on like the entire team to grow next year. But every indication I have is you have a great team in place. In no small part because of the work you do. And to attract that kind of talent to this small town is extraordinary, and to keep them. So turnovers you've seen has been relatively low. It's never zero. Anybody who works in business knows that painfully well. Social media, much better. Thank you back there. Massive engagement improvement. Obviously, one of the objectives for next year is going to be getting the website, which I don't think anybody would agree is acceptable, in place. So we're going to expect that. We're going to continue to work on improving the partnerships like council members have set up here this evening. We see as we keep working together intra and intergovernmentally that it frees us up to do a lot of things with the multiplier effects and compounding that we just couldn't do years ago. So those were all the good things. There were some opportunities for improvements and not everything was covered here. So if you want to see the full report, it's public, it's in the packet. But those were just kind of the headlines. So all in all, a very good year. Next year is going to be about implementation and fiscal stewardship and continuing to build on what we have, getting the team built out and everything else. Mayor Pro Tem Carter, anything you want to add to that?
I think that was a phenomenally detailed,
Yes, it was.
the discussion.
It was good. It was good.
Honestly, you did a great job of summarizing. What I would highlight is the process. I think we continue to invest more in this on an annual cycle, and I found it collaborative and constructive. We spent a lot of time talking through a lot of the exciting things, which Councilmember Krenz just highlighted, as well as constructive opportunities for us to improve and things that will be in the goals as we enter next year. And so appreciate how the open mind that everybody went into it with. And I think we've really made a lot of progress. In the end, the city is its people. And so managing this the right way is one of our most important responsibilities. So thank you.
And I appreciate you two guys doing that because it's not easy. As close as we all work with George, it's not an easy job.
It was a long process, and I appreciate the time and the energy and all you've done on that. This is a twofold deal, and then we'll consideration the addendum and the contract of what we've agreed to up front. So others on part A, the consideration of the performance evaluation. Anything else? Anybody in the, I'm getting to it. Anybody here in council chambers going once, going twice? Anybody online?
Not this time, Mr. Mayor.
All yours, George.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to serve the city of Northville and to serve with this council. We have had, I think, an excellent year, and in no small part due to the leadership of council, also to the fact that I get to work with a great staff, as you mentioned. So very pleased with the process and look forward to continuing to implement the goals and objectives of council, and appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
When you look at it, under the leadership of George, we've gotten $16.5 million worth of grants in the past year and a half or two, which is phenomenal. Everything you've heard tonight is without tax increase. You know, the team of Sandy and Kate and Wendy was here. I think she just slipped out. She might, you're behind. They have done phenomenal work and the leadership in keeping people together. We appreciate that. We couldn't do these things. We can't afford it. We're just like a business. We are like at home. We spend everything in our checkbook every month, and this gave us the opportunity and the leadership of where there's different activities that are working within the state. So I thank each and every one of you. And we keep trying to grow money trees. That's what Sandy tells me, grow those money trees. And you've helped grow those money trees out there because we have great ideas. We have to fund those ideas, and you have helped do that. And with Wendy and Sandy and Kate now and the DDA, I'm excited. So,
Tony, do we need to adopt this?
yeah, so I think so. There's a motion going forward that I would like it's a twofer. We have to consideration of adopting the city manager's performance evaluation, then consideration of the contract addendum. So this is two. It's not one motion to my knowledge. We're going to do two
Yeah,
motions.
that's correct. They're both separate, just so that we can make the performance evaluation part of the record.
I could say, thanks, Tony. I could say, motion to adopt, George Johannes's 2025 review as presented in the packet today.
So that is the motion. We have support. Any other discussion on that? I don't think we need a roll call vote on this, do we? No. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Woo. You got a performance evaluation. Now, number two, consideration of the city manager's contract addendum for what was discussed too. So we need a separate motion on that. Do we not, Tony?
We haven't discussed.
Oh, so let's go.
We haven't,
We
haven't
I just wanted to make
described
sure
it.
everybody knows what that is. So I'm going to move it over probably to you because you were very eloquent and very detailed. You will be eloquent and detailed, but a little shorter.
So as it's a shorter update. So the attached addendum, which is in the packet, calls for a 1% increase in salary in addition to the cost of living adjustment and 16 hours of paid administrative leave per year. All other provisions will remain consistent with the existing contract. This has been approved by the Personnel Committee as presented to City Council.
Which is you too. Yep. Mayor Pro Tem Carter and Councilperson Krenz. Yes. Great. Any questions or discussion on that?
I mean, to be fair, he only had one paragraph.
I know he did. I got it. I gave him a softball on that one. I know. You had one paragraph. You had many sheets on that. So, okay. I got you. I just wanted to remind him though.
We allocate work in an appropriate manner here.
This is true. Any comments on this? Any discussion? Nope. Great. So I'm closing off from council. Anybody in the council chambers have a comment on this? Going once, going twice? I'm closing off input from council, those in the council chambers. Anybody online? I don't see anybody.
Not at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, good. So I'm closing off all public comment. I am now looking for the second motion to go forward, consideration of the city manager's contract addendum.
I move to approve the addendum to the city manager contract to allow for a 1% salary increase, cost of living adjustment, and 16 hours of paid administrative leave per year.
Great.
Support.
So we have a motion, properly support. Any other discussion? I think we can do this too. We don't need a roll call one on this, do we, Tony? No. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Great. You have an addendum. So great. We are almost there. Mayor and council communications, if you're following out there. This past week has been tremendous in Northville. We had the Wreaths Across America program, first year, which is at Arlington. They put all the wreaths in Arlington. We were one of those. We had 100 people down there and volunteers, all the veterans at Rural Hill. It was outstanding. If you can drive into Rural Hill and go up to the veterans area, it is spectacular with ribbons on every stone, every monument, and the wreath in front. And all the kids and the Boy Scouts said the name and placed the wreath. It was quite touching, quite emotional. The Christmas gathering, Christmas in the Ville at the Mill Race Village was outstanding. It was cold, but it was great. You know, the choir was singing from the high school and a lot of activities going on. Even Santa showed up. And there's even a choral concert next door. City Lights Choral group is next door at, I think, Parks and Recreation at the Senior Center, or the Community Center, we'd like to call it. Yes. That's going on as we speak. And that little show is still down there at the tipping point. A lot of us have gone and seen it. There's a mayor's part. I was a cameo part the first night, but it's really neat. It's all about Northville. You'd go there and you'd chuckle because they talk all about Northville. It's like a Hallmark type movie going on. And Ford Field, if you haven't been by Ford Field, the fence went up today on Hutton Street, all the way down where the ADA entryway. It looks outstanding. That wrought iron look all the way down, the black powder coat. It is phenomenal. It really is. And that's going to be all across the vista and all the way down by the waterfall. So that was completed today. So things are moving, and that was another grant and activity. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Enjoy your holidays. Hanukkah started yesterday. I think it goes to the 22nd or so. So enjoy the season, enjoy each other, enjoy your family, and all that. That's all I have. Others?
Yeah, mine will be quick. I was actually going to bring up the fence as well, so that was an exciting addition. I do want to say thank you everyone on council and so many members of city staff that participated in the holiday party at Allen Terrace last week. It was a wonderful time, and we had a phenomenal turnout from the and so it really does mean a lot. It's at Allen Terrace. So thank you for the Fordville Playground project. So thanks again for that.
I'd just like to wish everyone a great holiday. I'm looking forward to everybody wearing their ugly sweaters next year. We did not this year for photos, so I would have been in the ugly sweater.
We had a lot going
But
on
we are
today. I'm not
going
an ugly sweater guy, but we were going to do it.
But really, I hope it warms up a bit. And we get less ice for any of those us that travel, as well as our families that travel to see us. So and again, in consent agenda, a lot of things in here.
Yes.
But the one that I can say that I am delighted, having lived with this website for 6 years, just personally, on a regular basis, is that the award of the City of Northville website redesign. Thank goodness. And is much needed. In fact, I think many of the things on the website now could now be considered historic artifacts because it's so. But what I see in that package is wonderful. It's not only redesigning the website, but it's also hopefully empowering and teaching and working with the city on how to keep it current and updated in a way that doesn't require that it's easy for people to do that. So to keep that. So I'm very grateful for that. And I know there was a lot of work looking over the bids and meeting with the different companies, and I'm very grateful for city administration for getting that done. So looking forward to it next year.
Great. Andrew, you're good? Andrew?
I did check the city website has a MySpace account. That's how old it is. Some of us get it. All right, just to build on what was already said, Wreaths Across America on Saturday was exceptional. Those veterans deserved it. And I think it's going to happen again. The Civil Air Patrol provided the wreaths, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they did.
With some help from city administration. Next year, they want to do more of them, like identify veterans plots that are not in the veterans area. But if you do go back in Rural Hill, it's in the back left. It's beautiful. I think everybody should go back there and take a moment. It was really nice. Also tomorrow night, right here in Chambers, planning, this is going to be an important one to discuss, is street level ordinance. So there was briefly talked about here, but it was a proposed amendment that goes through planning that would look into prohibiting professional and other office uses on street level to create more retail and in theory more street level engagement. And is that about right? That was kind of the push on that, is to do that. Also sign ordinance discussion. Hopefully enforcement will be a part of that. At some point, we'll have to talk about it. I do want to thank, and what makes this community really, really special is everything you saw tonight. This doesn't happen everywhere, and I think we kind of take it for granted. But we've had Rotary come through, we've had the Carter family come through, and all the money that they're contributing to this playground does not happen in most communities. And I think we do take that for granted. So I hope as we all leave here, we just say, thank goodness we live in this town, because there are people here that care like crazy, but you see see what just keeps coming through and building on, and people who just love and want to pay it forward in this town this doesn't happen everywhere. And then finally for our, so no ugly sweaters tonight, but I'm promising an outfit on Monday at the staff Christmas party that'll blow your minds. So if you're on staff,
Looking
either,
forward to it.
Was there a preview of that on social media?
there might have been.
Oh, jeez.
Don't leak it.
Yeah.
But if you're on city staff,
It's PG, I
we'll
hope,
see.
yes.
It's absolutely PG.
Good.
So that's it, Mayor.
Good.
Thank you.
So as you can see, we're modernizing for the future, whether it's Parks and Rec or where we're going. Even in our policies and procedures and our ordinances, some are 100 years old. We are looking at how we do business going forward. So we're looking at each and every one of those. So thank you for bearing with us with everything we're doing in this transition. It should be exciting times for the next generation. We're getting it ready for them and all of our kids and our grandkids and stuff. So thank you very much. I'm looking for a motion for adjournment. I'm sure I'm going to get that. George, do you want to say anything?
Oh, yeah.
I said my piece.
He said, okay. Yeah, still, I know. Sometimes I leave them out, not on purpose. So-
I moved to adjourn.
We have a motion. Do we have support?
Support.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. We are adjourned.